Alright YouTube, welcome back to the next episode in our tutorial series. In this one, we're going to be actually building our game to Android. So, before we do that, we want to go into our game, go into Edit, Preferences, and we got to check if we have a couple of things. So, we're going to need all of these boxes checked. If you don't have them checked, you're not going to be able to do it. So, check them, install all of the components that are related to this, and once you do them, we can actually build our game. So to do that, we go into File, Build Settings, and now we need to select our platform. If you don't have Android selected already, and you don't have the module installed, it's going to look like this. Go to the download page, go to the installer, run through all that, then come back, and it's going to look like this. You're going to get a switch platform button, click that, wait a couple seconds, and then once you're ready to build, it should look like this. So, once you're prepared for that, press build. So by default, it's going to open up your project folder. You're going to want to make a new folder. I already made one called builds. I'm just going to call this I'm going to call it first build.apk. Let's press save, and then it's going to take a decent amount of time to load this. So, just sit back, chill out for a little bit. Okay, so once it's done building, it's going to open up your builds folder, or wherever you built the file to. My APK file is right here. This is the one I want. So the next step in this tutorial is we're going to put it on a phone and install it. So, by far the easiest way to do this is just connect your phone via USB to your computer. Allow media transfer from your phone, and then once you've done that, I'll just reset it so you can see what it'll look like when it pops up. So it'll come up with this folder. You want to go into internal storage. I put my APK files in download. It really doesn't matter as long as you remember it. Then drag in your APK, and that is it for the PC part of this tutorial. I'll be back on Android in a second. Okay, so we're back on our Android device now. You can do whatever you want. Tablet, phone, probably not Android Wear, probably not Android TV, but mobile devices specifically. Once you have that, you're going to go into your files and then look for something that sounds kind of like a file explorer. You do File Manager, Files. Most Android devices come with this built in. Mine is called File Manager. You might have to search a little bit for it, but once you find it, open it up, and then navigate to your download folder. And then you want to find your APK. So mine is right here, firstbuild.apk. And then it's going to prompt you to go into your settings by default. So you want to go in here and turn on unknown sources, which allows you to install apps that are not from the Google Play Store. So once you've done that, go back into your folder, go back into first build, and then install. Okay, so once it finishes installing, you can just press open. It's going to be on, like, in wherever your apps are accessible. So you can just search the name of your Unity project, and we'll open it up. And you can see right off the bat the UI scaled kind of weird, so we'll fix that in the editor at some point. But let's press play, see if it at least functions correctly. Okay, so it's a little bit laggy, but I think that's just a startup issue. Now you can see the player is moving way too fast. We can solve that pretty easily. Just turn the speed down and then test it on Android. But, I mean, other than that, it looks like it's working. Okay, so far everything we've programmed in the game is working correctly, except for the speed. So, we'll fix that real quick and then end the video. Alright, we're back on our computer. Let's close this. We're just going to fix a couple of the issues that we had. First, let's go into the canvas in the title screen, and the background did not fully fit the camera. You can still kind of see beyond it. So what we're actually going to do here Rather than trying to figure out what background specifically is going to scale the best with the camera and how we can do that, we can do something else. We're going to go into materials. We're going to make a new skybox shader. So we're going to, or not skater, a skybox material. So we're going to do, let's just call this title screen. And first we're going to go into shader, skybox, and then panoramic. And then you can use the color picker tool to just select this color. Looks fine. And then go into lighting for the scene and drag this onto where it says skybox material. So now obviously the whole scene is going to look like this, but we now no longer need the background and it'll scale perfectly. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to go back into our actual game scene. We had two issues here. The first was the player was moving way too fast, which we can change very quickly. I'm actually just going to put it at 4 because it was moving extremely fast. Now when I'm testing it, the thing is I don't use the joystick, so I don't actually know exactly how fast it's going. But it looks like here it's moving at a reasonable speed. And then if we go back up to 8 and use the joystick, I think this might just be my fault for not testing with the joystick and using the Windows controls instead. But let's just play this. Yeah, it seems like it was moving a little bit faster on the mobile version, but even here, you're going so much faster than the enemy, it's not even fair. So let's set this back to 4. And finally we need to change the game over screen. So let's set the background. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger than the actual canvas, and I think that will solve our problem. Alright, so that is it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll probably have an actual coding tutorial out by the end of the day. Don't quote me on that, but I'll see you in the next one.